This one is Nimrod himself. Their version, stamped right on the plate. So as we're studying, what all this is doing is displaying how far back all these things that we're studying goes. Why do they have Nimrod as the bull? Because he was the great warrior with great power. History, according to Ashurbanipal's library, Nimrod was supposed to be able to wrestle a full-grown Cape buffalo and win. If it, huh? He had to be. You know how big a Cape buffalo is? 3,000 pounds to 4,000 pounds. And they are the meanest buffalo in Africa.
And you don't see how big they are.
They're huge. Yeah. But you think about trying to grab a hold of one of them and twisting his neck to the ground. Why, they throw an average person around like a Cupid doll and stamp them in the ground. Matter of fact, they have to be very careful when they're hunting a Cape buffalo not to get too close when they shoot, because they're tough enough that most of the time they'll run you down and kill you before they're dead. They get angry and they charge. They have to, if they're a certain distance away, they won't do that. So they try to shoot them at a distance that they are safe. Here a while back, I was watching a picture, a film. They were filming, shooting one. And pretty quick, the only thing you seen on the film was the camera doing this. Because the cameraman had split, and the last picture you had, the Cape buffalo, was like 10 feet from the man holding the rifle. And he was still shooting. And so, but these are, when Nate brought them, he took them off his wall because of what they stand for. But yet they are a good reference to what we are studying, okay?
We never read them. We were like, what is that anyway? And we're like, oh.
That's not good.
Huh?
Does that say golden harp? Is that what that says? Iraq? Or no? Looks like it says golden harp.
This right here says Nimrod.
Yep. Which one you got, Charlotte?
The one with the cow on it. The bull. A bull.
The bull. Yeah, Nimrod. Yeah. Those are, and the one is represents the Assyrian Empire. Of Ashur. But they're pieces that when we're studying that goes right back to the center core of what we've been studying. Because when the Bible speaks in the book of Genesis, Nimrod the mighty hunter, meaning in not a good way, because he was a mighty hunter of men. Yeah, and what he established and instated and brought into existence, you see. He said, here we have the mind that hath wisdom, the 7 heads, or 7 mountains, on which the woman sitteth. And what Charlotte's talking about, it does mean the power that came from mystical Babylon. When we go back into the book of Zechariah, and we look in the book of Zechariah, chapter 5, when the lead lid is lifted, what's sitting in the basket? A woman. filled with what? Wickedness
Evil.
and evil. It's back to making the same foundation of the statement that all along is being made. He said, these 7 heads is where this power is set over. You go back and look at Egypt's land. What kind of gods did they have? Everything under the sun.
Including the sun.
Including the sun. That is correct. But it didn't have the right sun. It didn't have the sun that should have been in position and in place. They had the S-U-N. But as sad as that is to say, there's about 8 places in the Old Testament that S-U-N means S-O-N. And that always blows people away, where it's stated that way. Because he is the light, so when they put down the sun, they put S-U-N rather than S-O-N, when it meant S-O-N, the Son of God. And so as we're studying and we're looking, the nemesis of mystical Babylon set on the mountains or the heads of these 7 nations that's being spoken about. That power was there in every single one of them. You remember what I told you a little bit about Babylon and what biblically it said, how they got their readings to go to war? Do you remember that?
So they got what?
Their readings to go to war or to do anything.
Oh, bones or something like that out?
Oh.
No,
Took the liver or something.
that's correct.
Yeah.
They'd bring a cow in, standing alive.
That's right, yeah.
And they would cut the cow open really quick, reach inside, cut the liver out of it while the cow was alive, and then read the quivering liver.
I thought they worshipped the cow.
Now I am dead. No, we're talking about Babylon.
That's Hindu.
That's Hindu.
That's Indian. The white ones.
Well, you never know.
No way they can count them.
Okay, but
It's a weird thing.
what I just quoted you is in here. That's stated in the Bible. That's how they supposedly got their direction. I think of that and I thought, what in the world do you get out of a quivering liver?
Whatever you want.
Ouch.
Basically,
Goodness sakes.
what's that, Jerry?
That just don't make no sense. A quivering liver, why would they wait for a cow to tell them what to do?
People wait for TVs to tell them what to do. And lots of other things.
Jerry.
The guy that reads the liver, he needs an excuse to tell the people what to do.
That's true.
So as we think about some of the things, it seems so
Out there.
out there. But at the very same time, you're dealing with mystical Babylon, deception, and everything that goes with it. Okay?
They had a thing on the news a few days ago, and they were talking about how all of these businesses are in decline, but one of the businesses that is doing phenomenally well is profits or
I know.
tellers.
I know.
And so, people are going and a card's being turned over and they're believing it or whatever they do.
Right.
Because it's
Some are crystal balls, some are
probably
cards,
bigger now than it was then.
and it's actually increasing. And the Bible said,
Good prices.
where we've already read that it's going to.
One of my coworkers spends $150 on this guy to tell her her life, whatever, on the phone. Not even in person, on the phone.
Yeah.
They're
It
looking
shows
for
what
answers
huge
and they're looking in the wrong
need.
place.
Yeah, that need that people have
You look
for
for God.
comfort.
Okay, everything that you're talking about is covering the subject that we're dealing with. Okay, it is exactly online with the things we're dealing with. Yeah, it's just like I watched a program and I turned it over in Downey the other evening. It's called River Monsters.